What I'm going to work on now is pulling the bearings off this armature. So I don't have a press, but I was successful yesterday pulling the bearing off the life center. That I'm going to go back to my puller assembly here, since I'm going to replace these bearings anyway. I don't have to be. It doesn't really matter if I'm pulling against the outer race or not, as long as this thing comes off. So they will be replaced. It just never ends. I want these left loose so the legs on these things move, but not so loose that they just fall off. Hope everybody out there is having a good day today. You know, a good day being retired, or a bad day being retired beats a good day working, that's for sure. I started working when I was 12 years old and retired when I was 64. So that means I worked, started in the grocery store at 12. Oh, not whatever you can. I'm going to get the hooks underneath it. Yep. Get back to this one. And amazingly, that bearing has already had the slip. No problem. On the other end's going to be a problem. I'm going to get the feet of this thing under there unless I ground something off of them. This bearing's coming right off. And then get bearing number off this one underneath. I didn't see anything, but once I get it off, I can look at it. I'll never see a number on it. They look like they're the same size. I don't actually have a set of steel bearings I ordered for another order. Ordered the wrong ones that'll fit this. Yeah, I made the order yesterday. Because won't fit down at home. Man, my left shoulder's killing me today from that pneumonia shot. A nice little flare on that 9mm cartridge yesterday, but she worked nice. I put down in there. Oh, that's perfect fit inside that 45. Now, let's see if I can get this back together. And somebody's going to say, why don't you put that in the vise? Well, I could. If I put it in the vise, it wouldn't be near as entertaining. You guys wouldn't get near the laugh value as you get out of this. There we go. Now, that's a shielded bearing on one side. That side is open. That side is shielded. I don't see any numbers on that bearing. So what I'm going to have to do, wait a minute. Five. Alright guys, I almost forgot to bring you guys back for the removal of this last bearing on this drill grinder motor shaft. I was having trouble getting under the bearing to pull it off until I mixed and matched my puller here. I took the arms off my smallest puller and put them on this medium puller, and I was able to get them under the bearing at the right angle. And now I'm working this bearing off. I did some grinding on the arms on the medium puller and everything, and still didn't work, so I just mixed and matched my arms and everything worked just fine. Now, as we said before, these are, let me clean this off. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not. I got the wrong glasses on. I can't even see the... But that's a 6202Z bearing. That Z means that it's metal shielded on one side, open on the other side. That's so you can get in and lubricate it, but that's a pain in the butt to tear a motor down and lubricate a bearing like that. Now, 6202, let me grab my calipers here. Clean the grease off of them that I got on them. Okay, these are this is a pair of CRK calipers. The only reason I bought these is because they were an American company, a new startup, and I wanted to give them some support. And the 6202 bearings are 35 millimeter. Depends on where you hit it there. 35 millimeter. I hope I'm in the frame so you can see that. There we go. 35 millimeter by 11 millimeter, more or less, by 17 millimeter. Or pardon me, 15 millimeter, not 17, 15. But as you'll see, that's not hitting 15 millimeter. But you have to be careful on ordering your bearings is always measure the bearing, because there are different 6202 bearings. Now when you measure the bearing race here, you get, I don't know if you can see that number, but that's 630 thousandths. And we know that 5/8 is 625 thousandths. A 15 millimeter internal bearing see, that's over a full millimeter. off. And I'm getting 630 thousandths on that. I was able to find some 6202 rubber shielded bearings with a 5/8 bore. So that's what we'll be putting back on here. Should have those, I think it was Tuesday. But other than that, I've got this stripped down as far as I'm going to take it. I hope you can see this. In here, there's a lot of rust on this, so I'm going to take my Dremel with a small wire brush, clean that rust off. Cleaned it up as best I can, and get it ready to go back in the motor. While I'm waiting on the bearings and everything to come in, I will finish painting the base and the motor casing, the end bells, and I get the bearings on and everything will be ready to go back together. When I go to clean those up, I'll bring you guys back. Well, that's as far as I can go on this. I've had a busy afternoon. Done some video on some stuff for you guys. And I have put on a nice pot of pressure cooked pinto beans and ham. Just waiting on my wife to get home. My grandson's coming in. Came in today, she went and picked him up. We're waiting on them to get home, and we're going to have supper. And I got cornbread cooking in the oven. I am a man of many talents. That's why my wife loves me so much. All right, guys.